Hey guys, what's going on? It's Geoff Newport, Master Kettlebell Instructor from KettlebellSecrets.com. Today in this video I want to talk to you about how to make your lightest kettlebell feel heavy so that you can still make progress. Like, a lot of people stumble on kettlebells and they're an amazing tool. They're what we call a transformative tool, right? However, they can be mildly cost prohibitive to some people, and I totally get that. I mean, you can see right there I've got a whole slew of kettlebells, but I didn't go out and buy them all at once. I collected them over the years. I've been doing this about 11, 12 years now, 2002, January 2002, so 11 years. That's when I bought my first set of kettlebells. And actually this guy right here, this is the first 16 kilo I bought. I bought these, I think it was called the starter set by Dragon Door back then. It was a 35, no, excuse me, it was a 4 kilo, which is over there. I think it's off camera. I don't think you can see it. An 8 kilo. My original one I sold, a 16 kilo, a 24 kilo, and a 32 kilo. All right, so you take care of these things, they last you forever. Okay, so my point is, I bought a few right out of the gate. That may not be you. All right, and these things may be cost prohibitive. So how do you take a light kettlebell and still make progress? Right? How do you get yourself stronger using a lighter kettlebell? Maybe a kettlebell you've outgrown. I mean, here's a 35, and traditionally we recommend that your average man, if you're an average man, start with this, okay? And then once you get here, you move to the 24. But what happens if you can't get your hands on a 24, right? So what do I mean by that? Okay, maybe you've done the rite of passage with the 16, but you can't go get a 24 for whatever reason. All right. So, you know, this press is now a piece of cake for you. I mean, you could do this all day long. I mean, you could do it while you could press forever while you're talking and making a video. You see what I'm saying? So, how do you make this 16 kilo, right, start to feel heavy? Well, that's a great question. So let's talk about that. The first thing you can do, well, not the first thing you can do. Let's talk about this concept of reducing your leverage. All right, I've got great leverage here. I just hold this in the rack. I get to use my legs, my abs, my butt, right? And it's nice and light. My grip isn't really impacted. So what I want to do is figure out ways to reduce my leverage. So here's an example. I could come down here, all right, reduce my leverage, get into what's called a half kneeling position, and do some pressing here, right? No, this might be a little bit more challenging. Okay, I can do some pressing from here. If that's not that challenging, I can get into what's called tall kneeling, do some pressing from here. Okay, yeah. And if that's not that challenging, I can come down here, right, and hit some pressing from here, from the seated position, from the V position. And maybe that's not that challenging. I can put myself in some weird positions, right? Maybe I can tuck one leg in and pull one leg back, okay? Do some pressing from here. Wow, that feels kind of good on the hips. You know, I can just reduce my base of support, right? And the number of muscles that are involved and the number of muscle groups that are involved in this movement, okay, in the press. All right. Now let's talk about one other thing you could do. What if we did exactly the same thing, but we made your grip the limiting factor? Okay, well, how would we do that? Well, what if, and since I'm already down here, we'll start here, right? What if you did some bottoms up presses from the seated position? Okay, that's going to be more challenging for you, right? So you can also go to half kneeling. Right here. Okay, you can go to, excuse me, that's not half kneeling, that's tall kneeling. You can go to half kneeling, right, which is here. You know, and here's a position that I didn't talk about before. The half kneeling is a weight supported lunge, right? So you're supporting your weight here on this back knee, right? Well, what would happen if we actually put you in a lunge position like that? Wow, see that belt shake? Now we got a lot more going on. Okay, so there's a lot of things you can do with just one kettlebell. If you just remember, all right, to reduce the leverage. Very, very simple. And that's how you make progress with even the lightest kettlebell, right? Reduce the leverage, primarily. Oh, and here's a couple more tips too. On programming note, what else you can do is you can add sets, add reps, and decrease the rest periods. So literally, you can work up to doing 60 or so reps, maybe even 100 reps. That's a lot in some of these exercises. You can do higher rep sets, reduce the rest period between those sets, okay? And so that should get you plenty strong in an exercise like the press. So hopefully you found this video helpful, and hopefully you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed making it for you. And I will talk to you soon, my friend. This is Geoff Newport, Kettlebell instructor from Kettlebellsecrets.com.